Today's video is for beginners basically, and also people who might have been beginners for a little longer than they want to. Now, one thing that as beginners that we tend to play a lot and want to play a lot are open chords to things C, G, D, those kinds of things, right? But I remember myself them being quite tricky to get down and get all the notes out. So one of the easiest things you can do to start stripping away the difficulty to get a result is use less fingers, right? So what that means is that, let's say I take the G chord, right? I'm using a 4-finger version of it. But instead of putting all the fingers on and just testing it, most people just test it by strumming down, something like that. Or actually, you know what? Let's switch it. Let's do the C chord. This one's really common to be very challenging. So it's a very common chord on guitar, but it's actually quite challenging, right? So, so as I put the C chord down, what a lot of people tend to do is they'll try to strum all the strings, right? But instead, the challenge of this chord is the open E and the open G, and then of course getting the notes out with the left hand. But if I played the open E without the left hand, sounds great, comes out, right? So if I just put my first finger on the first fret of the B string where it goes in the C chord, and I play that open E, the open E should still ring out. Now if I put that finger on and I'm touching it a little bit, the open E will be muted like that. So this tells me right away that maybe I'm trying to grab it like this, or I'm doing something where my finger's just simply too flat where that first string doesn't come out. So I want it more in front enough, and I don't need to put the whole chord on to have that epiphany, to have that lesson. So I can just learn to put just the one finger on, just that index finger, like that, and get that open E coming out. See, now, as I go to put a C chord down, now I have a positioning, especially for that first finger, that allows me to get the note out, right? Then I can play that note. It's a C note, so I play that C note, and it comes out nicely, and now I can play one at a time. And again, I like to have the students check the strings from the higher string to the lower string, instead of like a downstroke kind of strum through, because the challenge is having the strings underneath the finger ring out. So even when I do finger 2 here, same thing, I'm gonna want the open G ringing out, right? So I put that down, I have that, so I can get string 1 is good, string 2 is good, string 3 is good. I don't have any other fingers on at the moment. Okay, let's add the next finger. Let's add finger 2 onto that second fret where it is right now. When I play this, now notice I've still got the first finger on, okay? So when I play this finger 2, I'm really want to check the G string, the open G, right? Because if I'm a little too flat with it, that won't ring out. That won't ring out. So what a lot of people tend to do, because they tend to be squeezing a lot with the back of the neck, and also the amount of supination and pronation is not correct for their individual finger length, and also the angle that they have the neck on. So they'll sort of they might have a really good first 2 strings, but then when it comes time to add this finger on, these fingers will get compromised, or I should say this one finger will get compromised a little bit. And see that? Now the first string isn't ringing out anymore, just because I sort of move the hand a little bit, or let's say I play more with the thumb at the top of the neck and I get that curl, and I go there, and maybe even with like my bottom of my hand is touching the bottom of the guitar a bit, and the note is muted, and I can actually feel it touching here now, which is a place we don't really need the string touching. So that would be sort of the basic building block of taking something that we think is just one idea and actually starting to go, well, what's an easier version of it, right? But this is where the strategy comes in. One that also solves the problem that we've identified with the bigger version of the chord. So that's today's little mini lesson. If that's you're struggling with chords, you find it's difficult for you to place your left hand on the guitar and put the notes down, get them comfortably. If you're not using the arm to apply the pressure and you're squeezing with the thumb muscle, then feel free to message me. I'll give you a free 1 hour lesson over Zoom and we'll get your playing fixed. Let's get you results. Thanks so much.